I don't even know if it's a, don't know. More so I don't remember if it's even, like, a real map, or if it's a, dungeon, or if it's just a place that you go into. Wow. Look, that's the exact order I got them in, too. Really isn't. There they are.
Did you hear that sound? I believe the gate is finally unlocked.
That was anticlimactic. He could have at least included a flash, a bang, or a puff of smoke.
Let's head in before Ringabel has a chance to flap his gums again.
I'm heading in. Oh, seems like a real dungeon.
It's freezing in here. Even colder than it is outside.
Look at all those paintings.
Did we just stumble into an art gallery?
They all have a sort of forlorn look to them.
Dude, I can't tell what I'm looking at. They collector's items? Oh, well, if it's a real dungeon, we will try our best to play it a little bit. Guess I'll leave everyone as is. Just for now, anyways. I would like to... I want to look at something real quick. I, like, kind of had a panic attack. Not really a panic attack. I already found a secret. Let's go. Ooh, Bloodblade's really good. Bloodblade's really nice. Magic sword with the drain ability. Triggers a sword magic drain when used as an item. So basically, we don't need Spell Fencer. What we can do is use this sword to have drain as an effect. So basically, now we can just attack and heal with Bloodblades. And it's a tiny little thing, ain't it? Very useful, especially later on. Speaking of useful, especially later on. Kind of surprised I ran right into that, to be honest. Like, really, I did not know that was there. I just kind of jumped at a wall. It called to me. Now, the problem with Bloodblade 2, though, is I think if you drain undead... Ooh, we do not do enough damage to that. Uh-oh. If you try to drain undead, it will not work very well. My hero, I need you. I don't really want to cure everyone. My hero worked. It's beautiful. I think we would have been better off. Oh, we're dead. Well, gotta go get that Bloodblade back. I think I would have been better off if I spammed amped up. It's fine. We got this. I think everyone's back to their, like, normal jobs or abilities. Yeah, I guess we'll just stick with that. Well, I do want to still get my, my freelance, so I know what I'm looking for. Like my Bloodblade. What if it's not here anymore? Melusine. Bit problematic, ain't it? Run away. Run away, quick! We gotta get out of here. I'm starting to think this castle might be a little rough. That was like charm all. That's crazy. That charmed everyone. One more time. This time for real. We will put on... Do we have a charm defense immunity? Nope. Alright. Worth a shot. Do we have equipment for charm? I think we had something. Oh, plenty of rebuff ones. Let's go. Easy to deal with now. No more advances. I think ribbon... God, ribbon's good enough. This time, with all of our setup, I'm gonna leave and come back in. So we have an autosave. Now we can really start exploring the vampire zone. Oh, there's a chest I can't get. Oh, we got this though. I do realize it says level 60. Not that that's an excuse. Look how easy that is. But, yeah, level 60 compared to where we are right now is a little much. I will say I do believe it's kind of a good idea to not try to do this subquest right away. But it's gonna get me a job, so I really want it. I also... Okay. That dog's a problem. We got out of there. I'm starting to think that we've learned enough about how we're gonna handle this. And we will not fight. Mainly because counter dog is kind of one of the worst things to deal with.
My, what a large portrait. Is that Lord De Rosso?
His wife was sure an attractive one. Oh, and it says something under the painting. Lester, eldest son of the House of De Rosso, future clergyman of the Crystal Adventists and cardinal of the Crystal Orthodoxy. Born in the land of Eternia on a cold winter's day.
Isn't it always a cold winter's day?
So, that's his mother, not his beautiful young wife. And that little baby is Lord De Rosso.
Clergyman? Of the Crystal Adventists?
Is something the matter, Agnès?
The Crystal Adventists were the predecessors of the Crystal Orthodoxy. It is now known as the Old Faith. But it hasn't been practiced in over 2,400 years. How could he have been a member of the Adventist clergy? According to this portrait, Lord De Rosso is incredibly old, even ancient.
It's kind of rude to say.
Yes, indeed. For I was born of these frozen lands in a time some 2,400 years from this day.
There he is.
And this portrait?
I like how Tiz is just unfazed by him teleporting in.
I was but an infant, as you can see. This is a reproduction, however. The original was lost long ago to fire.
And what of the part that reads, Clergyman of the Crystal Adventists and Cardinal of the Crystal Orthodoxy?
Yes. As Wind Vestal, you would be expected to take interest in such matters. But here I delve into the matter of the Old Faith and the Orthodoxy. Allow me to tell of the founding of this land. As you may well know, this land had long been ruled by the Crystal Orthodoxy. However, 15 years passed, the Templar rose up and occupied their lands. Thus was the Duchy of Eternia born. Or so I expect you have been taught. However, the Templar did not found a new state. In truth, he restored an ancient dynasty.
He did?
Long before the Crystal Orthodoxy ruled this land, it was known as the Kingdom of Eternia. In a time 2,400 years past, Eternia was a bountiful land blessed with 4 distinct seasons. The highlands were not as lofty as they are today. People and ideas flowed freely from other lands. The kings of Eternia were protectors of the Earth Crystal and the Crystal Adventists, ruling in peace for generations. To the west lay the castle of the House of De Rosso, hereditary dukes of Eternia with royal blood in their veins. Relations with the royal family were good, and ever did the kings of Eternia treat the dukes of our house with kindness. In return, the House of De Rosso did faithfully serve generations of Eternian kings.
I guess he's just gone. Look at it.
A family portrait by Lord De Rosso. Little did he know of the approaching maelstrom. Such tragedy that we could not possibly fathom.
They seem to have taken a lot out of that. Safety ring. And we had that before. It's not that new, not that special. I just don't want to deal with... Listen, we fought 6 dragons in a row. I really don't want to fight things. I know I need to be like level 60 or something. But I can't. I just can't. Hermes' shoes. Now this is important. Well, not right now because we all need rebuff lockets, but as everyone knows, shoes are better than sandals. They give us an extra boost. I like to imagine they're sneakers. They're also really hard to come by. And by hard to come by, I mean, besides stealing, I think you can only get the one. Black belt. I'm assuming black belt's damage. I might have already had black belt. Raises crit rate. Too bad that's not a very, not a very clear, stat. Since it doesn't have a, actual, like, page for it.
What magnificent vestments. This must be none other than Lord De Rosso.
'Tis a portrait of my ordainment as Cardinal of the Orthodoxy. I was as yet... No, let us move on to other matters. I was born of the House of De Rosso, hereditary dukes of Eternia. Blessed was my youth. My parents showered affection upon me, and I was beloved by the people. And the king bestowed favor upon me as well. Upon royal recommendation, I was made a cleric of the Crystal Adventists, the Old Faith, in my 19th year. I devoted my body and soul to my clerical duties, for king, for kingdom, for faith. Sleep became an oft-missed luxury. But before long, a new tide began sweeping through the Crystal Adventists. There were those who wanted the clergy to control the 4 crystals of Luxendarc, rather than local monarchies and temples. That belief formed the core of the Crystal Orthodoxy. The Eternian royal family, keepers of the Earth Crystal, immediately assented to this new way. I soon found myself appointed to the position of Cardinal in the Orthodoxy. Me, a mere cleric.
everyone's kind of giving off a 1,000-yard stare, like they're not really paying attention to Lester de Rosso.
Cardinal de Rosso. Those were my days of glory. Even now, the mere sound of the then-new title is dear to me.
All I'm focusing on is the fact that his forehead is massive.
The Old Faith was remade entirely into the Crystal Orthodoxy, and the decision was made to elect a Grand Patriarch to rule. Thereupon, cardinals throughout the world gathered for a conclave to elect the first Grand Patriarch. Amid the conclave's maelstrom, I was approached by a cardinal who wished for me to vote for his choice. I suppose it was my youth and sincerity that made me reject the notion out of hand. But that was my downfall, for I was forced from the position of cardinal by the fraudulently elected Grand Patriarch. I had been but fervent in my beliefs and ideals. What I did only for the Orthodoxy, and for the people of this world.
The Old Faith and the Orthodoxy. The Kingdom of Eternia and the Duchy. That was all a bit hard to follow.
I don't think Tiz was paying attention.
I agree.
Neither was Idea.
There are no major differences in teachings between the Old Faith and Orthodoxy. They both revere the four crystals. I have heard that the Adventists gave way to the new and truer ideas of the Orthodoxy and faded away.
No wonder the Old Faith was abandoned.
Yet there is more to the story, for history is not more than accounts recorded by the victorious. To solidify their power, the victors showered contempt upon the vanquished. So it was those who held the reins of power within the Orthodoxy relentlessly pressed for the Adventists' eradication. No one recalls the words of the vanquished if the victorious write them out of history. 'Tis as if they had never existed.
I'd been taught that the battle between the two faiths had been fierce, and in its wake, devastation persisting to this day covered all the lands.
That is an uncharacteristically accurate account for the Orthodoxy, save for their false reckoning of time. It was after the Orthodoxy had begun ruling the world that the endless conflict with the Adventists began. I should know, for I was there to bear witness firsthand.
Lord de Rosso, how could you possibly be that old?
You can't just ask someone about their age like that. And then just drop the subject. Are they not getting that he's a vampire? It's a vampire castle, don't they know? Annabelle, you were sawing logs almost the entire time Lord de Rosso was speaking. Sawing logs? She means you were sleeping. Ah, so is that obvious? Obvious? You were snoring like a bear. I was. You'll have to forgive me. Even I know that's really rude. That it is. Even that was an incredibly long bit of oratory. Even if that wasn't an incredibly long bit. She agrees. She also wants to saw logs. That's right, Ringabel. You were really rude. I mean, your snoring even woke me up. What? You mean you were sleeping too, Adia? I'm gonna look at it again.
Lord de Rosso's ordainment portrait.
From the Old Faith to the Orthodoxy, Lord de Rosso's fate was sealed upon his ordainment.
Everyone got so sad about that. Alright, no chests in here, so we can just keep going. When random encounters don't let me easily spam amped up on them, I just don't want to do it. What is Soul of Thelma? I also keep forgetting that I can just go here. Greatly raises intelligence. It's good for magic attack. And raises our chance to actually get status ailments done if we ever want to try to go Arcanist again. That was the only chest in this area. Why is this castle built like this?
This one shows a castle in flames.
Is that why?
A large army surrounds it. It looks as if it could fall at any moment.
Is this not this very castle? See, this is the western corridor right here.
There's another castle burning in the distance. It's near where Eternian's central command is today.
So then, that's the Orthodoxy's head temple in flames?
Nay, the distant castle in flames belonged to the King of Eternia, and the castle in the fore. 'Tis the abode of my family, the House of De Rosso.
But why? Why would such a terrible thing?
The kingdom of Eternia was suddenly beset by a great host from another land. We would later come to know that it was a four-state coalition sent by order of the Crystal Orthodoxy. They had been told the King of Eternia sought a return to Adventism and was arming for war against the Orthodoxy. The Grand Patriarchy used this fiction to order a great muster of forces from across the lands. Alas, I failed to heed the many warning signs. I rejected the scheming Cardinal's choice for Grand Patriarch. But he succeeded in luring votes from other factions, and his became the ruling faction of the Grand Patriarchy. It was they who wished to establish Crystal Orthodoxy as the uncontested world religion. Under their orders, the castle of the Eternian King was besieged. It fell in mere weeks. Before long, the great host was at the gates of our castle, and my father lay brutally murdered. The water supply was poisoned, and the Orthodoxy's forces drew an ironclad ring around the castle. By then, the castle sheltered naught but the elderly, the young, the wounded. There was no hope of resistance.
I don't think Agnès likes this story very much.
I was forced to sue for peace, even offering my own mother as hostage per their demands. Yet that failed to break the siege. The commoners who had placed their faith in my family and me slowly starved to death. It was then that a letter arrived from a man. That man was the Cardinal, who had sought to influence my vote. The Fiend was now the officer in charge of the attack. He wrote that he would not accept my surrender. Such was the hatred he bore for me. Such hatred that he was willing to let countless innocents die. My mother had been murdered. Our castle was consumed in flames. That is the painting you see here.
How could the Orthodoxy do such a thing? Lord De Rosso's castle siege painting.
Such a tragic tale.
It doesn't ring a bell. Like, yeah, it was such a bummer, man. Would hate to be that guy. Maybe everyone's just bad in this world. Dwarven gloves. When did we get our first pair of those? Like years ago. Days even. Just imagine how many counter dogs. Hyper bracers. How many counter dogs I would have ran into if I didn't turn that off. Greatly raises strength. Pretty cool. Don't even know why I still have rebuff lock it's on when I am not fighting anything. But we will continue. Onward. That just looks like more fire.
Look!
Such fierce flames.
Though I wish not to remember that day, it is indelibly etched upon my mind.
What do you mean you don't want to remember that day? You got like 2 paintings commissioned of it.
How did you
This is a
survive?
different fire.
The Orthodoxy lay siege yet would accept no surrender. My mother, father, relatives, and my people lay dead. It was then I set our castle ablaze.
He did it. Out in a blaze of glory. Get it? 'Cause blaze.
But as the flames began to lick my body, something slipped into me.
Word?
Betrayed by the precepts I believed in, was I not bitter? Robbed of my beloved homeland, my dearest of kin, my people, slain. Amid such despair, was I content to simply welcome death? Nay, I heard a voice.
It said, yo, you want to be a vampire?
Accept me, and I shall grant life everlasting. Though it shall be filled with grief, thou shalt have all eternity to wreak vengeance upon thine enemies. Did I forge a dark pact with some fiendish entity that day? Or was it a rebirth, triggered by a future me reaching back to the past?
What?
Panicked upon failing to find my body, the Orthodoxy chose to denounce my family and me as ghoulish vampires.
Well, you are though, right?
Thus have I been living an immortal existence ever since.
Look, he loves it though. He's like, yeah, I'm a vampire.
Then the name Vampire Castle is...
Oh, they're putting 2 and 2 together.
A lie that has been perpetrated by the Orthodoxy for some 2,400 years.
No, he's not a vampire. He's just immortal. Okay, I get it. It's different.
Though it is true I am immortal, I am no vampire. I find the smell of blood too revolting to ever drink it.
Okay, so you would never, like, do drain-type abilities, right?
Having said that, I have done naught to quell the rumors. In truth, I endeavored to embellish them. My ability to transform myself into a bat and grow these fangs are the fruits of many years. Long, long years of effort. Tell me, O Vestal of the Wind, what does the Crystal Orthodoxy have to say about the passing of the first Grand Patriarch?
He chose the second Grand Patriarch and prayed for peace and the well-being of the faithful as he passed peacefully from this world.
Passed peacefully from this world, you say? I know the truth to be far different.
What do you mean?
The first Grand Patriarch was assassinated, along with his Archbishop, the man who had been my bane. The assassin himself tells you this. There is no other truth. That was when I forsook this land. Soon after, sightings of the vampire Lester de Rosso began to crop up throughout the world. I became a veritable Duke of Darkness, forging ties with those bearing hatred toward the Orthodoxy, and those it had oppressed. I was the enemy of man, the hated and feared vampire. But more than that, I was known as the arch-enemy of the Orthodoxy. And after some 500 years, a fateful encounter with one whom you all know well. No. Let us leave the matter for another time.
Who? Look, Ringabel wants to know as well. Damn. He yaps all the time and then he doesn't tell us the good details.
Immortality.
He was granted everlasting life. He can't ever die.
I like reading, I like looking at the picture again because it's basically like a quick Spark Notes if you weren't paying attention. Like, yeah, I got the information. It's good enough. Oh, treasure chest up there. You zip on through. Didn't realize how tall this castle was. I'm glad I'm not fighting things. Although I really need to potentially get to level 60. What are you doing, Aerie? I sense something lurking nearby. We must head to the Earth Crystal quick. We're doing vampire stuff, Aerie. We don't have time. Omea's Tiara. Did we have that already? I don't know why I keep wanting to look at it. It's a very, like, exciting prospect. We just keep getting stuff. Nullifies charm. Alright. Might be useful. We are getting a lot of equipment, which I appreciate. Because it's always fun to get equipment compared to, just normal items.
A battlefield landscape?
It represents the long and hard-fought war between the Orthodoxy and we denizens of darkness. For 500 years, my thirst for vengeance remained unsated.
Thirst for vengeance kind of sounds like a thirst for blood, I'm just saying. Also, the fact that you're a denizen of darkness. Yeah, are you sure you're not like an actual vampire?
It had also been 500 years since the Orthodoxy had been founded. The world was in the midst of an age of seafaring and piracy. Compared to the great exchange of ideas and information, the once hallowed Orthodoxy began to lose its luster. The authority of the Grand Patriarch and the Orthodoxy itself began to wane. Fearing irrelevancy, the Grand Patriarchy acted rashly to regain its authority. This led to the unusual decision to select a commoner, the gifted young Yuliana, for an important task.
Yuliana? Sage Yuliana?
Yes, indeed. At age 20, the young Yuliana became High Inquisitor of the Crystal Orthodoxy.
It's hard to believe he ever was young.
It was no laughing matter, for there was no one more skilled at rooting out enemies of the faith than he. The shadowy ones, those who had been working against the Orthodoxy, were crushed by the host he led. In the several decades that saw him age, I cannot count the number of times we have crossed swords, he and I. In the great battle waged on the Karka Plain, the might of our clashing forces rent the very earth into a vast rift.
Is that what happened?
You mean the rift under Ison Bridge?
It's kind of metal, isn't it? Wish I could see it.
In the battle at the foot of Mount Fragmentum, our armies smote the mountain to its very roots.
So that's how that ravine was created.
And in the battle fought on the Harina Plain, the once fertile earth was reduced to desolation. The loss of that fertile plain is believed to have ushered in the downfall of the Harina dynasty.
To think any sort of battle could change the face of the earth so.
We fought our final battle 1800 years ago on the Norende Heights in the land of Kaldisla.
The Norende Heights? That's where the Great Chasm opened up!
In the end, Yuliana, High Inquisitor of the Crystal Orthodoxy, utterly defeated me. Lord De Rosso, leader of the Shadows.
You were defeated? But you're here with us today!
Yes, well, there was more to that final battle than meets the eye. You see, I ceded the glory of victory to young Yuliana that day. I say young in my reckoning, for he was already 100 then.
Okay.
Yuliana returned triumphantly to Eternia with what he claimed to be my remains. What he brought them was not human.
Wait, so how old is he supposed to be now?
And when the Templar attacked the head temple 15 years past, it is said they found my tomb deep underground. Ever dreading the darkness and my return, the Orthodoxy kept those duplicitous remains under arcane seal for over 1,000 years. 'Tis a tale replete with irony, is it not?
He's so smug about it.
Lord De Rosso's war landscape.
It's hard to imagine a war lasting 500 years.
Surely this is the last floor. castle has more than 6 floors. It barely has any chests in it, too. At the very least, it's nice that the blue chest is all the way on the bottom floor, or close to it. I don't remember if it was actually the first floor or the second one. Well, this just looks like hell. I guess war is hell and all that.
Say Juliana.
Is that what it is? I didn't realize Sage Juliana looked like hell.
Yes, indeed. No one would mistake such a man for young now. Having put down the blood-sucking Lord de Rosso, bane of the Crystal Orthodoxy, he became the first ever commoner to become an archbishop. Perhaps it was a small honor they threw his way, for he was already 101 years old and would not long count among the living.
That makes it sound despicable.
Agreed. The truth is, however, that was when Juliana's plot was at its most clever.
The sage's plot? What was he plotting?
He wanted to be a vampire too.
He was taking measures to separate you Vestals and the faithful among the people from the Orthodoxy's corruption. After serving some 80 years, he had witnessed firsthand how corrupt the institution had become. Should nothing be done, it would not be long before the putrid poison would do harm to the most innocent of the faith. So it was he vowed to rid the Orthodoxy of the source of this poison, the concentration of power.
But how?
For the great feat of defeating me, Juliana had been made archbishop, but in name only. But such was not key to his plot. Timing was the key. The proper time to separate the Vestals and the faithful from the Orthodoxy.
And just what timing would that be?
The great upthrust of the Eternian Highlands. At the time, the Highlands were not so formidable as they are today. But a colossal movement of earth and rock thrust the Highlands to lofty heights, thereby isolating Eternia from the world.
Oh, he means like literally Earth uprising.
Hold on a moment. He was waiting for the Earth to
That's
move?
crazy.
How could he have known when such an event would take place?
I shall tell you in time. For now, I will say this. Juliana bided his time till the Orthodoxy was cut off from the world. And at last, it happened. The Highlands ringing Eternia did thrust up to about half its height today. The Orthodoxy-ruled Eternia now found itself completely isolated, for this was an age preceding the airship. And while the Earth Crystal remained in their keep, control of the crystals of fire, water, and wind was returned to their respective temples. This, what you believe to be the true form of crystalism, is the fruit of Juliana's efforts.
That was the sage's doing? I won't ever call him a miserable old lech again.
He is a miserable old lech, though.
Sage.
I just don't see it. It doesn't look like him.
A portrait of the Archbishop.
He looks just as he does today, save for that elaborate attire.
Tis agrees. Like, dog, I don't see it. I can barely even, like, visualize that as a person. Maybe I just don't understand art. I very least sub-jobs over there, so we're almost out. Another painting. Look at him in his freaking throne. More paintings.
What is that glowing jewel-like object? I could swear I've seen something like that before.
I believe you have seen a similar sight countless times. It is known as an asterisk.
We got some of those.
An asterisk? As in those objects we possess?
Yes, indeed. The second stage in Yuliana's plot against the Orthodoxy's authority was to deprive them of the power to grant vocations.
Grant vocations? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Before Yuliana intervened, special approval was required to change vocations within the Crystal Orthodoxy.
You needed approval to become a performer.
In this way, the institution grew rich through fat profits they called alms.
Oh, so the Orthodoxy cornered the job market and the fees to participate therein.
In layman's terms, yes. But Yuliana exposed this fact before the reigning Grand Patriarch. It was then that Yuliana approached panicked high officials and the Grand Patriarch himself with a proposal of pure genius. He showed them a stone known as an asterisk, saying the granting of vocation should be based on it, overseen by the Orthodoxy. Those who sought such vocations would apply to the Orthodoxy and pay a fair price. Anyone with the means to pay could thus learn a new job.
That's no different from the old system where people had to pay alms.
No different indeed. But the Grand Patriarch and his officials had not but the material profits of the Orthodoxy in mind. Hence, they accepted Yuliana's proposal without question, even appointing him to the important position of overseeing the new asterisk system.
I fail to see how that really changed anything.
Well, it did far more than you would guess. For he was the only one who knew how to make the asterisk stones.
Why, that wily old fox?
So it was Yuliana robbed the Orthodoxy of its authority to grant jobs and took it for himself.
Why couldn't they just go back to the old way, though? Like, I don't know, why just accept, like, yeah, we'll let him do this, and be like, uh-oh, he's the only one who knows how to, though. I guess we just screwed ourselves out of that one.
What of the Orthodoxy's profits? Wouldn't they demand Yuliana transfer the proceeds to their coffers?
Yuliana was long gone. Abandoning the seat of Archbishop, he fled with his knowledge of the asterisk craft. He also took arms and armor the Orthodoxy had seized from around the world, items of such power that their use was forbidden. He took them all and sealed them away in a hidden location. They now lie secreted away against the day the Orthodoxy's tyranny or some other impending doom threatens the people. He then hid himself in Yuliana Woods until those who knew him reached the end of their natural lives. But that did not take long, for I led the forces of the shadows to ensure their swift demise. I had always believed the Crystal Orthodoxy required not but the crystals, the vestals, and the faithful. With the institution free of corruption, I returned to my homeland of Eternia after a 700-year absence. Where my family's castle once stood, I built a fortress of ice from whence I have been watching over the Orthodoxy's head temple. Meanwhile, Yuliana retired to that land to tend to the Vestals, but you know of that better than I.
Say Juliana.
Okay. I guess I get it now, I guess, but it's still kind of a wild story.
The asterisk painting.
Sage Juliana created asterisks to chip away at the Crystal Orthodoxy's authority.
Basically just, like, quickly change some stuff around, and before they can even do anything about it, like, oops, all killed by a vampire. It's all good now. Lilith's Rod, if you know what I mean. Does that do anything cool? Single target Asper. Doesn't sound that cool. Looks cool. Doesn't sound that cool. Has, magic attack up. Not really. Special. Claymore looks cool. Bloodblade looks cool. Only gets worse from here. You know what that means. Can't say I, feel too confident about this, especially not with our current setup, but we'll see what happens and then we will pivot.